Hi singers, welcome back to my channel. I am really excited for this video. This is probably going to be one of the most important videos that you watch if you want to get better at singing, because this is going to be your roadmap. We're going to be talking about the two most used vocal registers for any singer, any genre. This is going to tell you exactly how to place your voice in each note that you're going to sing. So what is a vocal register? A vocal register is a place in your voice that you sing from, or where you feel resonance. So the two registers that we're going to be talking about today are chest voice and head voice. And obviously there are other registers such as vocal fry, and there's also really high whistle register, but most of the time we are going to be singing in chest voice and head voice for our average pop, musical theater, rock songs. So let's get into it. The first register that I'm going to talk about is chest voice. So chest voice, in the simplest terms, is the voice that we speak in. It's the most familiar to us because we are using this chest voice 100% of the time when we're speaking. But when we're singing, sometimes we have to switch into a different register. But for now, let's talk about the chest voice. So obviously it's a place where you feel the resonance literally in your chest. And it is a register that shouldn't be really taken too high. We don't want to be pushing our voice really high and squeezing, and I think that's a huge problem that a lot of beginner singers come across, is that they feel that they need to push and squeeze this chest voice up into their higher register. Like, for example, some people want it all, right? Like then it gets a little bit shouty. It's that shouty belt that we can get sometimes if we're using too much chest voice in our higher range. So the way that we want to kind of help this issue of pushing the chest voice up too high is by switching into head voice. So head voice, I always like to describe it as like this Disney prince or Disney princess voice, where we're just kind of nice and light and airy, and we're living in the space, and you could literally hear and feel the resonance coming from the top of your head. It's just this lighter, airier space that we can tap into when we want to get into the higher register, but not be straining and tensing all the way up to get there. So this is going to be really important when we eventually start talking about mixed voice. So not really going to talk about it too much in this video, but it is really important if you want to make that head voice sound a lot stronger. So head voice doesn't have to always be super airy. That's just probably the easiest way to find head voice. I would say there's a huge amount of other terms that are underneath the umbrella term of head voice. So you obviously have like falsetto, and you have mixed belt, and you have like airy head voice. So there's many different kinds of head voice that you could use to kind of manipulate the sound at the top to make it sound not as airy or as light, which I know is a huge struggle for beginner singers, is they want to get into the higher notes, but they don't want to push, and they also don't want it to sound too like chorally or too light. So that is where mix comes in. I'm just going to talk about it a little bit, is we want to make this head voice a little bit brighter. And a singer who does this really well is Ariana Grande in All I'm Trying to Say Is You're My Everything, Baby. She always just has this really bright head voice sound. If we were to just head voice it and find the head voice first, all I'm trying to say is you're my everything. Not really the sound that we're going for, but we can make head voice sound a lot more heavier by adding a little bit of a pout and a little bit of a buzz to it. All I'm trying to say is you're my everything. See how I'm kind of like almost creating pressure behind my nose a little bit, behind my mouth, to make that head voice a lot stronger and a lot more powerful. So this is helpful when we're looking at the songs that we're going to sing, is differentiating these two registers. So it's important to know exactly when you are going to give that energy for the chest belt, and you're going to really go for it. And there are moments where you're going to need to ease up on that tension with head voice, and you're going to have to give in to that sound. So that's why it's really important that we're not living in this in-between space. Sometimes the biggest problem that I see with singers is that you don't pick. You don't choose which register you're going to be in, and you're not aware of the registers. So you just kind of live in this in-between. You're not really giving enough energy for the chest voice, and you're not really flipping into that nice and easy head voice, or you're not giving the head voice enough buzz and enough resonance. So it's important for us to at least recognize when we are in each register when we're singing, so that we can create a roadmap. And you could even go into your lyrics and actually mark down when you're switching between registers. And that is vocal technique. The best singers in the world, you can't hear a break between the two. Obviously, sometimes in certain styles, you want there to be a really heavy break, like in folk or pop songs. I'll make it through the winter if it... So see how I like want that break between the chest voice and the head voice. So it's kind of like learning the rules to break them. You want to learn actual vocal technique, which is really about connection and feeling that smoothness between the two registers. That is what is going to trick the audience into thinking like, wow, their range just keeps going on and on and on. It's because they know how to switch between registers. It's not magic. They're not built differently. Obviously, there are some singers with a different mechanism, but for the most part, everyone is able to expand their range by recognizing which register they're in. So thank you for watching. I was really excited about this video, and I teach this to students of all levels all the time. But if you want to get feedback specifically for your voice, then I recommend clicking the link below for the voice gym, which is where you're going to get personalized feedback directly for your voice, directly from me. I think this is the best way to learn how to sing. Obviously, tutorials and YouTube videos are really great to watch if you just kind of want to get your feet wet. But if you're looking for actual progress with your voice, then I suggest working with me, clicking the links down below, and I'm so excited to see you there. Happy singing!